Hello! Ahoy, I should say, to all my wonderful patrons and the people who waited a year. It's boat episode time, baby. I was actually hoping to really sell the hilarity of the boat episode constantly getting postponed, that it would be a terrible, horrible, rainy, freezing November day. This is the nicest day I've ever seen in a November in Maine, to be completely honest. People are in shorts. Literally a couple is walking by right now in flannel pajamas. I don't know what's going on. Full disclosure, it's Thanksgiving. All my family and friends are doing Thanksgiving on days that aren't actually Thanksgiving. So now I get to be on a boat for Thanksgiving. Maybe I'll get to talk to some people going to see their families. It is a ferry, so anyway, yeah, let's kick this thing off. I'll think of an opening line, and then I'm getting on a boat right over there, Casco Bay Ferry. As the Lonely Island famously said, I jizz in my pants. Wait. And this is where the theme song goes. Yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 99. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert is busy setting royals and stunsels. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. Dive deep into Davy Jones's locker and pull up that sweet booty, which is merch. No new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $1,571. I don't edit, I don't go back. Also, when we get to $2,000, we unlock an automatic show gimmick, which is I will watch all the Fast and Furious movies back to back and then record my podcast at the end. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $3,000? I'm going to sink this bitch. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to sing a few bars of a public domain sea shanty? I'll do it. $50. I spent a long time looking up public domain sea shanties, and I couldn't get enough info on the ones I actually wanted to mention. But, yay, ho little fish. I can't tell if that's in the public domain, but if it is, I would love to add that to the theme song. No new patrons this week. Bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly, I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is Taylor Swift. Look, if she can make people care about something as unbearable as football, imagine what kind of bump she can give my show. Why, that could get more listeners than the Weird Al episode. Want to know more? Donate today. The Weird Al episode still going strong. That is the unbeatable episode. People love that one. Or at the very least, people check that one out to see if maybe Weird Al is on it. I haven't really figured that out yet. Checking in on the best city in the world, based on which city listened to the last episode the most. And we've got us another singles night tie. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is Scarborough, Maine. Congratulations, Scarborough, Maine. Let it be known that your squash courts, Turkish bath, and first ever swimming pool are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about ragdoll cats while my 2-year-old niece was on the show. You can see video of the entire episode, and do I even need to tell you how adorable my niece is in that video? Over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about my girliest week at the movies. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: bring back 10 Fix My Carcast characters, incorporate all 100 Fix My Carcast episode titles, Choose 10 Fix My CarCast quotes to put on t-shirts, and our returning gimmick, give myself a face painting. Low-key, I love that the returning gimmick has nothing to do with the fact that it's our 100th episode. Once again, those gimmicks are, listen carefully, number 1, bring back 10 Fix My CarCast characters. Number 2, incorporate all 100 Fix My CarCast episode titles. Number 3, choose 10 Fix My CarCast quotes to put on t-shirts. And our returning gimmick, number 4, give myself a face painting. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, November 30th at noon Eastern America time. By the way, you might have noticed, because I just said it, that the next episode of Fix My CarCast is episode 100. So, for that one show only, if you want to sponsor the topic, you'll have to donate $100 or more. Any topic sponsorships under that amount will slide to subsequent episodes, because it's episode 100 and there's only one thing to talk about, and that's Fix My CarCast. But if you got the scratch, I'll talk about bubble tea or whatever. If you want to drop $100 for the 100th episode, go big or go home. All right, time for today's gimmick, which it gives me great pleasure to say is Record It on a Boat. That's right, the fabled boat episode we never thought we'd get. It's happening. I am currently recording in a car, but in just a moment, I'll snap my fingers and I'll be on a Casco Bay Lines ferry in scenic Portland, Maine. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way, in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the Gimmick Zone! From this point on, gimmicks are active, and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'm going to talk about today's episode. You may notice I am not on a Casco Bay Ferry Lines boat in Portland, Maine. I am in my room in Columbus, Ohio, Maine. Something has gone terribly wrong. I will regale you with the story of what has gone terribly wrong. Typically, when you get behind the scenes about an episode, it's in the bonus episode, but not this week. Today's episode is about today's episode. So, the boat trip itself, how was it? Well, everything went off without a hitch. I met my friend, Mr. X, down at the docks. We asked which trip was the longest so that we would have plenty of time to record the episode. It is worth noting Mr. X did not appear on the episode, but thought it would be a nice day to go out on a boat trip. The weather was positively gorgeous. For some backstory, this was the third chance at the gimmick Recorded on a Boat. And I lucked out that the weather was beautiful. It was a gorgeous Thanksgiving day. People were wearing shorts. And not just because they were turkey trotting. It was really warm out. I didn't need a coat. The only reason I wore a coat was because I was on a boat. So we got our tickets. We hung out by the docks, enjoying the ocean air, enjoying the sun on our faces. And my plan was, we'll get the longest boat that goes all the way around. Should be plenty of time to record. The boat trip was about an hour, and I thought, great, 30 minutes of that. Get the show in the can, and then enjoy the trip back. Obviously, you need some time to set up, so factor that in. We got this. So the boat arrives. I meant to get the name of the boat so I could tell you what boat I was reporting from, but alas, did not get the name of the boat. Not too many people, because it was, of course, Thanksgiving Day. A lot of people getting on the boat, holding trays of food. That was an exciting thing to see. Some people having Thanksgiving on islands off the coast of Portland, Maine. Also, pretty sure one guy severely stoned. Couldn't say that while recording, because he would have heard. But nevertheless, a great boat trip, a beautiful day out on the water. I bring along my printed off Wikipedia pages so I can have my random Wikipedia article, my topic to speak of. Wasn't a great one. I think I'm not going to share it with you. I'm going to hold off on that one. But nevertheless, spoke about it for a bit. And then just kind of moved on to some other topics. Thanksgiving came up a lot. I'm not really a Thanksgiving person. Full disclosure, I was raised in a religion with almost no holidays, so holidays have always been kind of weird to me. In that I get to approach holidays as an adult, and guess what? I only want to do the ones that are fun, which is Halloween and certain flavors of Christmas and any holiday with a movie around it. I don't care about the 4th of July, but I love any reason to watch Independence Day. Never been really invested in Groundhog Day, but I love any opportunity to watch Bill Murray die a bunch of times. So yeah, not really that big into Thanksgiving. I think I made a joke about I can't wait to be on one of the titular items in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which, if you like having jokes explained, there's no boats. It's interesting to me. It was very fun to be on a ferry. I mean, it's always fun to be on a ferry, but it was very fun to be on a ferry on Thanksgiving, something I had never done before, and it was really a great experience. I regret that I focused a lot on the Wikipedia topic when just the experience of being on a ferry on Thanksgiving is incredible. I mean, the number one movie about trying to get places for Thanksgiving emits boats. So it was just a wonderful life experience to see, oh, cool, this is what it's like on a boat for Thanksgiving, which is, again, probably not that rare an occurrence, but doesn't come up in the movie. So yeah, riding the boat, having a good time, doing my little piece. So Mr. X said, are you going to go the front of the boat where there's probably more wind, or the back of the boat where there's engine noise? And I was like, well, thank goodness my mic, it only picks up things in a little heart shape. I can never remember any terminology for anything ever, unless it's in a movie. And those microphones, they have that little upside down heart shape, which, if you'll permit me a brief tangent, the hieroglyphic for testicles is an upside down heart, and I just think that's so romantic and sexy. But this isn't a Valentine's Day episode, nor is it a Thanksgiving episode. It was just the only day that I had free, because, I didn't have to work. So I'm on a boat for Thanksgiving. And again, the previous day, the rain was terrible. Gray skies, downpour, awful, awful, awful. Comedically, that's the kind of boat episode I wanted to have. But the very next day, gorgeous. Not a cloud in the sky. You can see it in the video, which I haven't decided if you'll ever see. I've not made that decision right now as I'm speaking right now, because I'm kind of devastated that the boat episode is so fundamentally cursed that right now you're currently not listening to me while I'm on a boat. Because I love the sea. The sea restores me. Like, truly, I love the ocean. I love the ocean so much. I love going to the ocean. I love living near the ocean. If somebody offered me a house for free, but it was in the middle of the contiguous United States, I'd probably say no. Where's my ocean? So I feel like Much like the Doc Brown episode where I was so happy to be emulating a character who's brought me such joy since my childhood, I was so happy to just be by the ocean, a place that has brought me such joy since childhood. I think York Beach is where we used to go when I was a kid. As I got older, I'm trying to think of some other beaches I go to. Cape Elizabeth, Old Orchard Beach. Any excuse to get to the ocean. I love it so much. And then, of course, there's the ferry. Now, I've ridden the ferry to Peaks Island, often just because, again, I love the sea. A few years ago, when I was doing therapy and trying to get to a better place, one thing that I found that really calmed me was just to take the ferry out to an island and just look at the water for a bit. And that was a regular routine for a long time. And honestly, I hadn't been on the ferry in a bit. So going again, I really enjoyed it and I need to do it more often. So we could have, a boat at sea episode going forward. Again, I'm still kind of letting the shock of the boat episode being cursed wash off me. I realize I haven't even gotten to, wait a minute, Billy, sounds like you got on the boat. Sounds like you had a good time on the boat. What happened? Well, I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. I'm not technically minded enough, so I can only speculate as to what happened, but I'm pretty livid about it, especially because everything else has been fine with all the equipment that I've been using. However, I had an issue about 3 weeks prior. Let me get right to what went wrong. The microphone. I don't want to jump ahead in the story too much, but I will look back. So there was an issue with the microphone. And everything clicked into place once I realized that the audio had not recorded properly. The audio was coming from the phone, and I was on a crowded boat with a bunch of people around, so I was talking kind of quietly. But I knew I was fine because I had a microphone right next to my mouth, so everything's fine. But the distance from fist on your chin to mouth is a little smaller than phone that's about, 3 feet away from you on a crowded boat. So you can hear me, but so bad. You have to strain your ears to hear what I'm saying. Now, again, I don't want to jump too far ahead in the story. So, let's get to me getting off the boat. So, I finished recording the episode. I think it's gone pretty well. I'm not going to say it's a top 10 or anything, but I think it's okay. Topic wasn't great. Maybe next boat episode, I will get a chance to do a better topic. But get off the boat. Well, no. I go find Mr. X. Mr. X is like, how did it go? I was like, great. It went great. Lesson effing learned. Check your footage before you leave your location. Especially one that's really hard to get back to. Like a boat that's a little crowded but not super crowded on Thanksgiving. I don't look at the footage back because I've never needed to with my super reliable microphone, which is great and works all the time. And you can look at several episodes of this show that were recorded with this same microphone. So I enjoy the rest of the boat ride, which, in hindsight, I would not have had time to do the episode again. I keep going back to that. Oh, maybe if you'd checked the footage, you would have been like, oh no, and you would have gotten right back into action. You would have done it all over again. No, I would have been rushing. We would have been pulling into the dock, and I would have been like, and it would have been fine. I could have been like, hey, I got to cut this one short. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I could have done that, but I didn't. I didn't even bother to check the audio because I've never had any issues with this equipment. Okay, so boat episode in the can as far as I know. And now I have plans. Number one, I'm going to see my mom on Friday. And I'm going to see Mr. X's mom on Saturday. That's right. Miraculously this year, nobody actually did any big meals on Thanksgiving proper. My mom wanted to do a meal on Friday, and my friend Mr. X's mom wanted to do a meal on Saturday. Perfect, great, wonderful. A boat episode in the can early, by the way. The episodes are almost never done on a Thursday. But it's in the can, nothing to worry about. Let's go see Mom. Go see Mom. Have a great time. Watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Turkey Day YouTube stream, which is a favorite thing for my family. We're all really big fans. We have a good time with that. They did forget to deliver our turkey dinners, but that's okay. We managed to get some food from a local restaurant that we all really love. It was a great time. I sleep over. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, well, I have some time free. Why don't I cut the episode together? And I usually edit the video part right on my phone, upload it straight to YouTube. The video versions of Fix My Car Cast are done before anything else usually, if it doesn't require too much post-production. And then the jaw-dropping moment, the Kevin of it all. I go to listen to the sound and it's garbage. Now, here's where things get tough. If there was no sound whatsoever, I'd be like, whoa, well, that sucks, but scrapped. Guess I'll have to do it again. But it's like just barely there. You can hear me when the boat slows down. And I remember thinking, I bet if I do some like audio mastering scrubbing, I could maybe make it out. Let's not jump ahead though. For now, I'm like, I don't have a boat episode. This has to go up on Monday. What do I do? What do I do? Staying alive. Okay. This is the part where you see how nuts I get when things don't go according to plan. I contemplated making the bonus episode just me talking about autism and how I probably have it, and it's been a long road getting from there to here, figuring it out. And this was another one of those meltdown moments that made me go, yeah, normal people don't do these things. Normal people don't react this way to things. Something's going on. I don't think that's what the bonus episode is going to be about. Though admittedly, I don't know what it's going to be about, because usually it's about the making of the episode. So I see the audio is no good. And I'm like, what? How did I forget to turn the mic on? And I'm like, no. There's no way I forgot to turn the mic on. I go look at the footage. The light is on. So I have not neglected my duties there. The light is on. Clearly the audio is coming from the phone when it's not supposed to be. So somehow the phone didn't detect that the mic was plugged in, but it was still sending power to it. I don't get this. It suddenly hits me 3 weeks prior, something else that I filmed with this microphone. The sound was coming from the phone and not the microphone. And I look at the footage. The damn light is on! Twice now it's been plugged in, but the audio was not coming from the microphone. So I don't know what's going on, but that microphone is retired now. As a matter of fact, here's the little fucker now. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I also can't really afford to figure out. Folks, so without spoiling too much, some things that are in store for you, the other thing that I filmed made me think I need a new mic, because a wired mic, and this is a harsh moment for me, I don't trust wireless things. I don't. I can never forgive them for the death of my boy. It's just, there's a wire there. It's working. That's how you know it's working. The second it goes Bluetooth, I'm like, oh, no. I'm not fucking with any of this. I'm not fucking with this. I can see that one goes to the other, and yes, and I hate wireless things, and I know everybody's all, no, Bluetooth forever, but I'm sorry, that shit sucks. I hate it. I know being tethered to stuff, people don't like it, but not a fan. Well, I finally bit to the bullet, and I set aside some money to upgrade to a wireless mic, which is currently on its way to me. It's in transit. I'll probably get it Monday. Oh, if only it had shown up on Thursday. But I'll tell you what, I probably wouldn't have used it for the boat episode because I'd be like, that's too risky. I need a mic that has a cord. Yeah, fat lot of good that this has done me. Anyway, may also be a problem with my mic because of the way I store it. I don't know, whatever. But this thing in the garbage. Done with that shit. Never using that mic again. The reason that I brought a handheld mic on the boat was because I figured maybe someone would ask, what's this? And I could talk to them. Pretty much anytime I'm using the hand mic, it's because I think there's potential to talk to someone else, because you can't like take a clip on off your shirt and go, hold on, what do you have to say? Thank you, sir, or madam, or them, them. I don't know. We really got to ramp up getting non-binary terms for everything. It is a problem. So anyway, the audio's bad. And I am at my mom's house, and I wake up, and I'm like, Mom, hi, everything sucks, and my brain is crumbling, and I want to scream, And she's like, what's up? And I explained to her the boat episode didn't work, but my mom actually lives right next to Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. So I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm going to go drive down to the lake and just jump in a random boat. This is how broken my brain is by not having the audio. And I'm just like, no, it's the boat episode. It's the big one, baby. This is the one. This is the one. The boat episode is the big episode. The cursed episode that has to happen. But no, the curse continues, friends. Anyway, thank you for listening to the episode that I recorded on a boat. I hope you're enjoying the episode that I've recorded on a boat. So I'm panicking. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get into some random person's boat. I mean, punk is fucking all, and I'm a fan of, not getting the filming permit, guerrilla style filmmaking. So, there was a part of me that was like, yeah, cool, let's get in trouble because of my stupid brain. And my mom's like, wait a minute, they do boat tours. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, they do boat tours. I'm like, Mom, I can't even afford another boat trip. Like, I set that money aside. Like, well, who would I be if I have a fundraising podcast where I have money for frivolous bullshit? Like, in my heart of hearts, long, long ago, on a walk to work far, far away, I envisioned like, yeah, and eventually I'll get out of debt, and then maybe the show can go on to bigger, wackier gimmicks. No. I don't know if I've ever said it on the show, but I have been referring to this show as Trailer Park Mr. Beast, where, full disclosure, I've never seen a single Mr. Beast video, and I don't care to, but like, I hear what some of them are about, and I'm like, oh, so this eccentric rich guy just does all this silly content. Well, I'd love to have his money, cause, the best I can do is get drunk or get in my closet. So yeah, I hate that I can't afford a second boat trip. However, lucked out because guess what? The Lake Winnipesaukee boat tours don't really happen in November. I wonder why. Again, the boat episode kept getting pushed back to the point where I'm like, great, I'm gonna have to do it, in the winter time while it's snowing. Oh my gosh. Which, by the way, I'm still willing to do, but no. We're gonna get to how I'm gonna make up for this snafu. But again, it's nothing I've done wrong. And that's almost breaking my brain harder. Like, I could just be like, I'm such an idiot, you guys, I'm gonna try again. But like, this is nothing I did wrong. I did everything right. And then I wake up to this. Anyway, so there's no Lake Winnipesaukee boat tour. I'm not going to get in some stranger's boat. Maybe. it hits me. I'm about to go to a turkey dinner at Mom X's house. You think she's got a gravy boat? Yeah. My brain is so broken, I'm fully taskmastering this thing. And some of you know that I have still taskmastered this thing. Count it. But I'm like, okay, I'll go to this family's Thanksgiving dinner that I've been invited to and be like, hey, for a dumb thing that I will never get any of you to understand, I've got to put my foot in a gravy boat and read a Wikipedia page. And that's the moment where I'm like, do you hear yourself, Billy? Do you hear the lengths you are trying to go to for your dumb little show? For 15 people at most, one of whom is in Germany. Thanks for listening, Germany. So that's when I concede. I'm like, all right, this isn't going to happen. Wait, nope, hadn't conceded yet. Mom offered to give me money for the boat tour. She could see that I was clearly upset. I did have one final Hail Mary, one last taskmastery technicality. A toy boat. A toy boat would count. Mom, can I have some money to go get a toy boat? And she's like, well, I do actually need you to pick up groceries for me before you go. I'm like, okay. Here's money for the groceries. Here's a little extra for a toy boat. My special child who is just so bonkers. I go to the store, I get Mom's things, cannot find a toy boat to save my life. Several toy cars, so many toy cars, many toy cars. I bring Mom her groceries, I say goodbye. And I drive down to Lake Winnipesaukee because I'm not done yet. My plan is to record an update to let people know, there was a complication with the boat episode. I'll see what I can do. I was not planning to hop in someone's boat, but I am not going to lie. If when I had pulled up, I saw, if there was a boat there, I would have considered it. Maybe go down to the dock and put one foot in it, and there I'm on a boat. Or put my foot up on it, and there I'm recording the episode on a boat. Alas, I do not do this. And I give a heartfelt speech about not dwelling on your mistakes too much. And then I end it by saying that I'm going to still play the boat episode in its entirety just to prove that I did actually make the attempt. Well, the problem is I'm not at my home studio, so I can hear what scrubbing up the audio is going to sound like. So I make this promise, not knowing shit ain't usable, folks. At best, I can fuck around with the high pass and the low pass filters enough that I can make out what the words are if I listen really carefully, but it is still unlistenable. It is, as a matter of fact, why am I explaining it to you when I can just play you a clip? So, I actually blew my opening line on the boat, and for whatever reason, on that first blown line, mic is working perfectly. Crystal clear. I want you to listen to it right now. Computer, play the first attempt at the boat episode. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There's no topic for today's episode, there's no sponsor for today's episode. Oh, blew that. Sounds okay, right? Yeah, that's what the whole episode could have sounded like. Now, without any trying to scrub up the audio, let's hear what the actual episode sounded like. Computer, play footage from the actual episode. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Completely unusable. I don't know this until I get home. I go to Mom X's house. I have a great time. I come home. This is the night before the episode needs to go up. I sit down at the computer. I try to make it sound better. I can't. At best, I can get it to a point where between the video and the filters, I can make out what I'm saying. And that's when I say, okay, I'll redub it. Like an idiot. It is going up in about 14 hours. No, not happening. Not happening overnight. And that is the point where I say, all right, I've simply got to film what I've filmed for you right now. So that's the saga of the boat episode. Now, I don't want to make any promises right now. Ooh, forgot one other thing I wanted to mention. There's now AI software that removes background noise from videos. I attempted it on the clip. Apparently my voice is indistinguishable from background noise. At most, this is what it sounded like. Unlistenable. Garbage, hot garbage. There's no saving it. I actually tried the AI salvaging at my mom's place, and nothing doing, let me tell you. So that's it. I called my partner for other reasons, but, tell him about the boat thing. I tell him, okay, I know I have a toy boat in the house somewhere. I start ransacking the house. This was a toy boat that I actually found on the beach like a decade ago and just kept it just as a keepsake, just like, look at this little boat, cool. I used to have a little figurine of Sebulba from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And we used to put him in the boat. And we called it the Sebulboat. None of this is relevant to anything. I just wanted you to know some more minutiae about my life. Can't find the boat. Finally, I'm like, all right, I need to record this apologetic version of Fix My Car Cast. The first episode where I don't actually fulfill the gimmick. If you're not counting sick beats, which, by the way, I had also considered sick boats. But I don't have enough time today to make you a 30-minute music mix. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it. This is the episode you've gotten. I don't know if I want to promise. I will say this. You may have a chance for a future episode to be an actual overdubbed version of the boat episode. I may do that at some point if it seems like there's any interest for it. Maybe I'll make it a gimmick. And I may also make an actual attempt at recording an episode on a boat. Though some of you may agree, I have already fulfilled that promise of recording an episode on a boat. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up the boat episode with some words of wisdom from a very, very smart man. As always, it is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Boat episode, am I right? Hey, this episode is celebrating failures. See you next week to celebrate my successes.